Good morning, it's December 11th, 2020, and this is Miguel Solari, and this is the Plastic Free Weekly News Wrap-Up. I'm going to be doing this every Friday. Hold my feet to the fire. Yikes, what did I just sign up for? But I do want to share a lot of my resources. I want to share some of the stuff I read and some of the stuff that kind of gets me going. So over the past 4 or 5 months, I just basically stopped posting news articles. And if you look at some of my old feeds, it's like a bunch of news articles, and there's a lot of feeds already that do that. So I'm just basically, I just like to do things differently, and I just also didn't want to get caught up in the news loop, right? I want to do action. I want to focus on my store. So boom, ooh, a sale just came in. Did you hear that? That's the sound of money. Thank you. So let's begin right now. And by the way, all the links are going to be below, so you can check them out. Here it is. The first one is, this is, by the way, not new news. This is old news. Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and Nestle named top plastic polluters for the 3rd year in a row. So interestingly enough, I did a plastic audit at Ocean Beach with the Surfrider Foundation 2 years ago, and it was the same news, same people. The same plastic audits happen all over the world, in Indonesia, Philippines, China. They find the same top 3 polluters. So it really brings into question, like, what are they selling you food or water or soft drinks, or are they just producing plastic? You know, that's really what's going on. If you think about that. The next one is also, this is old news, and this is like from the New York Post, but like, I like it because in case you haven't seen this yet, like this one, like it talks about how if we end up digesting a credit card's worth of plastic once a week, and then it breaks down, like here, just does some of it for you, but like in a month that's equal to a whole Lego brick, in 6 months a cereal bowl, in a year a full dinner plate, in 10 years a life favorite buoy, in a lifetime 2 plastic recycling dumpsters. You need to chill on your plastic diet. It's actually not your fault. It's in the air, it's in the water, and so you can be as vigilant. Like, I'm super vigilant with like the stuff, I don't like to eat anything that comes out of plastic, like just because you just don't know, and I'm not gonna trust it. I'll do whatever I can to eat fresh and pure without untouched. I don't even like it. I don't want my food to even touch the plastic. It's very difficult to do, as you guys know. So the next one, we're going to move on. This is super awesome, I think. This is AI-guided robots to solve the challenge of plastic pollution. So this research here, basically, where is it? It's a robotic system that uses machine learning to help. They're trying to help using machine learning and sensors to help using that to help figure out how to sort plastic at a molecular level. That's amazing. So recognizing at a molecular level the kind of plastic in the stream, and that's important to improve sorting, so that sorting facilities, recycling facilities can do a better job, instead of right now the way it really is like they see all this stuff coming in, and for example, like plastic cups, more like half of them are biodegradable and some are not. They just don't know. They just take it. They just go to landfill. I've had like a few waste management system directors like tell me that, like on the side, like, yeah, it's sad. And also Tom Zaki in his book from last year, the story of what's it called? This is in my bookshelf over there, but he talks a lot about that too. So this is really awesome. It's promising if you are a big believer in recycling, which it's not that I'm not, but we're stuck with the plastic, so we might as well figure out what to do with it. So here's the next one. Nanoparticle Tracking could improve the understanding of plastic pollution. So this one I brought up because it talks about this term nanoplastics, and in case if microplastics wasn't bad enough, this is even smaller, and it's very difficult to study because it's that small. So they're figured out, they basically made another tiny micro nanoplastic to bind onto the other plastic, so they can study the way it moves through, I guess, the inside of our bodies. I don't know, but it's like, earlier this year there was news that they found that microplastics had been found to was crossing the blood-brain barrier in certain fish, which they never thought that would ever be possible. And those fish that had the plastic that had crossed their blood-brain barrier were dying quick, acting slow, lethargic, and just basically useless. Imagine after your whole cereal bowl of plastic, what's happening, especially if we got nanoplastics floating around now. Okay, the next one, which is pretty awesome as well, is I don't like these kind of headlines, and I usually like gloss over them because I think they're sensationalist. But I checked it out: the world's first naturally biodegradable plastic alternative, it talks about this stuff called torafine. That's the material, and torafine alone is made from seaweed and other biomaterials, but they recognize that it's not like a regular compostable biodegradable plastic that requires a facility. This will actually like biodegrade in the ground. It won't turn into microplastic. It will actually biodegrade. But alone, the torafine is not strong enough, so they mixed it with graphene, which is like a lattice, and it's very strong. So with the mixture, it makes this like super strong plastic, and apparently cheap enough to produce. And they're even testing it on. They're like renting production time in plastic bag producing factories to roll it out. So they're really going for it. So anyway, maybe something you want to invest in. But the link is below if you want to check it out. So that's pretty sweet. Let's move on to the next one. No internet. That's okay. I'll move on. That's because okay. So that was from the SF Examiner. I'll just talk about that one. That was Connie Chang, a new supervisor in SF. That's right. She is really into trying to solve the plastic pollution problem in San Francisco, and just wants to fight hard. And I hope I get to meet her. But in that article, it mentions Dispatch Goods, and that's actually like the news here. Dispatch Goods they make refillable containers, to-go containers, and they have a bunch of places signed up. But Zuni Cafe, not only did they sign up already, I think they signed up before, but they are now for everything. They're using the refillable container from Dispatch Goods. So if you're gonna order online, get it from Zuni Cafe. Your food will come and go in the same will come in the container that you return, and that's what we need to get to. Not recycling, refillability. That's what I'm talking about, and that's what I hope y'all are talking about too. So let's move on. Okay, this one really speaks to my heart because it's from the World Economic Forum. Can Indonesia wipe out plastic pollution for good? And the new House on Fire podcast that they're doing. But the reason why I bring this one up is because where is it? Yeah, earlier this year, the Indonesian government announced its radical goals to cut plastic waste by 70% within 5 years and cut it out entirely by 2040. Now, you gotta keep in mind that Indonesia is the world's second biggest plastic polluter, which is really unfair, because if you're familiar with the movie Story of Plastics, you'll know, or you're familiar with that narrative. If you haven't seen the movie, you're familiar with the narrative and understand that these countries, actually most of those countries, that they don't have good waste management systems like we do here. And at some point, our petrochemical companies that work with the Nestle's and the Coca-Colas and such, go to these countries and we push our products on them, this convenience, and that's how they ended up with the little Palmolive shampoo plastic sachet that's super dirt cheap, and then ends up just polluting their environment. And they don't have the waste management system. It's not that they're dirty, it's just that they don't have the waste management and they don't have an alternative. That's how they get their shampoo down, and that's what they can afford. So anyway, it's very complex. But Indonesia, at the same time, because I've been there, and that's why I support Indonesian products. That's why I went to Bali, and that's why my store is really based around I want to support a country that is working hard to get out of the problem. And as you can see here in this podcast, and the link is below, they highlight a bunch of entrepreneurs out there that are doing what they can, including one of them is, where did I put it? David Christian. I left it somewhere else. David Christian from EvoWare, who makes a seaweed plastic, and actually I have some in the other room. This is unedited, unscripted. I'm not gonna walk away right now, but I wish I could show you. So and he gets highlighted in there, and you know, he's making plastic and other materials from cassava bags, all this stuff. And anyway, just the narrative of Indonesia. Here you can listen to him a little bit right here. I got him a little bit right here. So my internet's off because I need the stream to work. So anyway, link is below. Check it out. So move on to the next and final part. And I just, you know, I needed to talk about that because I really wanted to highlight why I want to support Indonesian goods and why I made a point to go there, because I know that people there really care, and it's a I want to create a virtuous cycle. Buy from me, you're supporting communities that care about zero waste lifestyle and trying to improve their condition. Improving their condition improves our condition. And the whole bamboo program I got. Okay, that's enough about me. Let's move on to the next and final most exciting news of the week is 550 groups asked Biden to solve the plastic pollution crisis with 8 executive actions. And you can read the 8 executive actions below, but this is the best part. They came up with this tagline: plastic free president. Yeah, dope. That's so dope. Let's do that. Let's blow up plastic free president. What if Biden came through? You know, I'm not I don't believe politicians. I believe that we are our own politicians with how we spend our money. That's just me personally. But hey, Biden, if you can be the plastic free president, please, brother. But this article is really great, and here it highlights the 8 presidential plastic action plans that they're suggesting to use purchasing power of the federal government to eliminate single-use plastics, suspend and deny permits for new expanded plastic production facilities, make corporate polluters pay and reject false solutions, advance environmental justice in petrochemical corridors, update existing federal regulations to the best available science and technology, stop subsidizing plastic producers, join international efforts to address the global plastic pollution crisis, reduce and mitigate the impacts of abandoned, discarded, and lost fishing gear. Bam, that is powerful. And in the next one here, they have a link, excuse me, to all of the 550 groups, and one of them, of course, being like the main one here, Breakthrough from Plastic, that I'm willing to bet they're the ones that came up with the plastic free president tagline. They also produced the story of plastics, and it's produced by Steve Wilson, who apparently lives in the Bay Area and is someone I really have been wanting to meet for a long time. Like, I really yeah, that's like a bit of a hero of mine, just like Tom Zaki and others who are in the game. So thank you so much. I want to just a little plug for myself here. This month I am giving away one of my plastic-free Cocoa scrubbers. If you spend $20 or more, free delivery for the month of December, and one of these. They're not for sale on the store yet. We're still testing them. We're still kind of like tweaking the design, but it works as it is. It just kind of falls apart. But hey, would you rather like have coconut end up in the water rather, or would you just want to continue using like the plastic one that like sheds like microplastics and eventually ends up on your dinner plate with your 40 gallons of while you're eating your cereal bowl full of plastic. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Hold my feet to the fuego. Next week, Friday. Now I gotta do it every Friday. I just said I would, but hey, I'm gonna take a vacation sometimes, or maybe I'll just do it on my phone, but whatever. I want to stay on it. I love making videos, unedited, unscripting, because I just don't want to spend time editing. I mean, I love making videos, but with editing, no. So here it is, me, live and direct. Boom, thanks so much, and I'll see you next week. Peace.